everyone, and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 2. You can see here we've got the results from the Swedish Cup, which was played on Sunday night, the 1st of May, which was a Wednesday. And you can see that the big result was the 3-0 win for 76ers over Radaby FC. A great performance from Marquinhos and Mike Duff. Man of the match overall, though, was Milevski. In the other games, the non-league match between Bunkerflow and Sirius went to a penalty shootout. Los Urracas dominated their game, and for the third consecutive cup game, Stackington took a 3-0 victory, which leaves the semi-finals lined up in probably the way that leaves it seeded well for the final. 76ers take on Sirius, and Urracas play Stackington in the All Division 2 tie. Let's have a look at the fixtures for today. We have got there some cracking matches, and it's about time I introduce my co-commentator for today, Mr. Quinton Fortuna. Good evening.
Good evening, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. You can see right up there some absolute belters. If you particularly focus on those second, third, and fourth games, which one's attracting you the most today?
I think it'll be interesting to see Dalgety Rangers and Trumpton. I think they're two teams not quite at the top, but fighting for it in fourth and second. And obviously Blues against really no chance as well will be a key game. But I think that the big one that catches everyone eye down the bottom is obviously Danglies versus your Stackington team.
Well, especially if you take a look at the table down at the bottom there, the bottom two, 5 goals between them, not a single point. Looking up at the top of the table, the early pace from Blues and Trumpton of maximum points. And of course, we've just taken a bit of a look at the match between Atletico Newmills and Radaby FC. That should be a good one. Radaby slightly off form at the moment, but huge ramifications if they were to lose again. Surely not. Although Atleti might have something to say about that. Looking to the last time's results, probably shouldn't stick on that too long. If we just put something over that, it might look a bit better. Some great results. Not a good day for the home teams, but they were almost all in the bottom half of the table. So let's have a look at where we're going first. And we are going to the Atletico Newmills versus Radaby FC game. Radaby have made a small change to their tactics. Last game round, 76ers in the cup, of course, the 3-0 defeat. But in that game before, losing to Trumpton without a single shot on target. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it wasn't the best performance from Radaby, but we know they've got quality throughout the side. Be interesting to see what they've done for the tactical change, because they pushed Trumpton close. Trumpton are obviously second place. They're doing really well in the league then, and Radaby, if they get a result tonight, can be back up there.
Yeah, it could make a huge difference to their season and really push them back into that top 6 again. Just a change seems to be more in the defensive midfield position than anything.
Yeah, again, it's a strong lineup, isn't it? There's no weak links throughout. Crespo and Vieri up top. It's a mix. I don't know if they've played this season so far, but it's a strong partnership. Ronaldinho supporting them behind as well. So I like the look of the formation tonight.
Yeah, just looking at it, so no goals for Vieri so far in 2 sub appearances in the league, and Crespo just the 1 in 4 games. But it's early in the season; anything could really happen with that. Seems to be lacking Steve Finnan in the first team, who's been performing fairly well.
Yeah, well, it's you've got to make changes when you're not in form, and you wouldn't bet against them getting a result tonight. It's going to be a tough game for both teams.
Yeah, Steve Wright has seen. He's been commenting on the effectiveness of Vieira and how they've been missing him, but he is due back in a couple of games' time. He will make a difference, won't he?
Yeah, you'd think so, but Tomasi is obviously a real strong defensive midfield in there. So it's, I suppose the problem last time was not the defensive midfield zone, but it was just getting those shots on target. So if Crespo, Vieri, and Ronaldinho have got the shooting boots on tonight, then it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, they may take some stopping if that happens. Up against Newmills, Atleti last time out beat Gondor 3-1 with a great performance from Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, real good performance, but I suppose Fabian Barthez with the 9 as well just shows it wasn't all one way. So the attacking players have played really well, but when you look in the defence at Delivio with a 5, Ferdinand with a 6, Sam and Scally getting booked as well, it's not all all roses there, but they had plenty of shots on goal. Played really well so far this season, and they've got a good lineup.
Yeah, yet to lose so far. Goals coming down a little bit from the beginning, but they've started off with Stackington and Danglies, and then shown that they weren't just a team to beat the bottom sides, as they've they've actually not had the biggest challenges. Obviously, the Urrakas game was a challenge for them, but now they're hitting some big teams coming up over the next 5 or 6 games. That's their starting lineup for today. They've dropped Hughes and Elmander further back.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting seeing Elmander in the midfield. I've not seen him probably that far back on a pitch before, but he's got plenty of quality. Michael Hughes has proven his doubters wrong so far this season with some solid performances. Yeah, two goals for him. That's fairly impressive. Good back four, good goalkeeper. It's a real good team on paper. So it looks like a real interesting performance tonight between the two.
And let's get straight into that game. Peter Ekstrom refereeing. Let's get started. It's been a quick start for Radaby going forward. Vieri with a chance of a good save for Barthez. And straight down the other end, Michael Hughes denied a classic goal, it says there. And Veron with a chance as well. So it's end to end.
Yeah, it's been a good start from both teams.
Radaby got a foothold again just before the little stop there. Khan with a good save. I think Veron with a chance again. Halfway through the half, no goals, but plenty of chances. And Veron yet again involved. And it's a great performance there for Khan. But now Captain Jaap Stam is out. And obviously, he's going to be missed. A groin injury. Don't know how long that'll take to recover from that one. But Wes Brown, if you've ever got a bad groin, you just need to bring Wes Brown into the equation.
Yeah, well, ready-made replacement, isn't he? So I don't know if I haven't seen much of Brown this season, so he's got his work out tonight.
Yep, 1 game, 1 assist so far. So let's see if he can continue such a run. He'll be missing though, Stam. Radaby will look to take advantage.
Yeah, it's been a bit slow so far, but
Lee Bowyer takes Bowyer taking the obligatory booking there. Straightforward chances, but is it going to be anything before half time? Yes, Ruud van Nistelrooy, 1-0. And straight back down the other end, Radaby with a chance again. And Kewell putting it just wide. And we are at half time with Gattuso and Van Nistelrooy, the standout performers so far in the match.
Yeah, I mean, Radaby with only 1 shot on target. Again, they'll be disappointed. I think potentially Veron clipped the post just before half time. So it has been more even than perhaps those stats suggest in the commentary at the bottom. And I don't think the game's won or lost yet.
No, not at all, is it? We're similar action areas and 50-50 on possession. Taking a look at the goal. Yeah, I'm just going off injured. No real reason behind it. Just pulling up, I imagine. And the ball just falls to Van Nistelrooy and very little else to comment on. Did Veron clip the post? We've got, so Veron's hit the post there. You're absolutely right. Just into the player stats here. So Stam at 56%. The rest of the team performing pretty well.
Yeah, Gattuso and Veron seem to be having the majority of the ball in that midfield stuff, and Almander have had plenty on the right hand side too. So it's been quite a solid performance all through. There's only really Ronaldinho who's not at his best tonight, and I suppose it shows in the scoreline. They've got a couple of 8s, and that's made the difference.
It has indeed, and Radaby not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but only Vieri with a shot on target.
Yeah, that's got to change if they're going to get anything out of this one. They've not had the shooting boots on for the last couple of games, as we've seen. Bowyer has picked up a yellow card. He's lacking a bit of condition compared to the rest of them, so he needs to step up a little bit. But you can see from Nesta only having 3 passes in the first half. They've just not had enough of the ball to make a difference in some cases.
No, but I suppose they'd be fairly pleased that the ball hasn't been down their end quite as much as it could have been. Kick off into the second half. Athletic have plans for substitutions. Radaby don't unless they're enforced. And a yellow card going into Nesta. I think it was a challenge on Ronaldinho. And Veron has made it 2-0 to Atletico Newmills. And they're coming forward again and again.
Great start to the second half, just what they needed.
59 minutes, almost a 60 point there. we have a look into what the plans are. So the lowest performing central or attacking midfielder, Ronaldinho. So that will be Giggs coming on into that position there. And anyone 5 or below? Nope. So it's just Ryan Giggs coming on for Ronaldinho. Do you see it making any difference?
Well, he could tonight. Ronaldinho's not played particularly well with a 6, and Giggs is always capable of an assist, isn't he? So if he picks up the ball and has a run, you never know.
See how that half hour goes for the rest of the game. Not much going on in the first 10 minutes after the substitution. But Radaby trying to get back into it. Harry Kewell's had a chance there to score. And Gattuso makes it 3-0. Unexpected to be such an advantage this game, especially after losing Stam.
To bed.
Radaby trying to come back into it, to try and get 1 goal, some kind of confidence boost, but they're just not quite hitting it on target. Ronaldinho well wide towards the end of the game. More chances for them, and Atletico Newmills holding steady and coming forward again. 3-0 the full-time score. They will be absolutely delighted with the result.
Yeah, like you say, it's a great result, particularly when they've only had 50% of the shots on target. They've just made the most of them with half and flying the back of net. So you've got to question the Radaby keeper. I don't know how he's rated today, but again, it's a story of only 3 shots on target. So the majority they could all they could have got out of the game was a draw at the most if they'd converted all those ones.
It looks like a useful offside trap from Atleti to stop the Radaby attacks.
Yeah, it does have done really well there, haven't they? 15 offsides.
They did pull up the possession in the second half, so no wonder they've really taken the game with their victory. Having a look at the goals, we've got a free kick from Ronaldinho deflected. The other Ronaldinho's hoofed it clear, I imagine. So there were 2 Ronaldinho's on the pitch, is that right?
Yes, there was. Yeah, one for each team. Yeah.
And Elmander's played it to Veron, and a half volley into the net, but unmarked for the goal. They won't be too happy with that. And Veron creates the other one for Gattuso, and that was his first goal for the team. So player stat wise, a great performance from Veron there.
Yeah, I mean they're littered with 8s through the second half, so everyone stepped it up a little bit. But Veron, obviously the star man with a 9, 5 shots on goal from him, an assist and a goal. So can't ask for too much more.
Yeah, it looks pretty good from Rio Ferdinand at the back there. Almost every pass, almost every tackle, and every header won.
Yeah, very very dominant performance, and like we saw with only 3 shots on target for the opposition, they've obviously limited them, and obviously Ferdinand's had Stam alongside him for the first 28 minutes, and he's had to partner Wes Brown as well, so he's adapted well to the two.
Very much so, yeah. And it was good to recall Barthez for 2 victories at this point. So, his impact is making a difference. But for Radaby, again, it's that tale of not getting their shots on target. Harry Kewell and 2 for Vieri. The team aren't playing badly, as you can tell from the ratings.
No, it's just getting the goals, isn't it? And I think they've just been beaten by a real good performance from the opposition. They've possibly been unlucky in coming against teams in good form. But yeah, Tomasi and West have both played well. Everyone else on the 7. So like you say, there's no one who stands out as having a bit of a nightmare. But it's just getting the cells together in front of goal and perhaps maybe making some substitutions to freshen things up if things aren't working.
Yeah, it might be a tactic that Steve Wright decides on, but he was quite adamant early in the season that he wasn't one for substitutions unless they were enforced. But this league is throwing up quite a few surprises, including the early pace. Would you say it was a surprise that Blues are top? Actually, looking at their results, 1 goal conceded, and the last game a dominant victory over Los Aracas.
Yeah, they've been really tight in defence, and obviously the attacking talent they've got, they're littered with goals throughout the team. Zeriberto's an assist machine from the wing, and he got a goal last time. Agahau with man of the match, so they've got plenty of stars in that team who'll get the goals. But the impressive thing is how solid they've been at the back.
Very solid, and their team for today. The 3 at the back have got talent, haven't they? And there's no weak link in that lineup, surely.
No, not at all, and we've seen that so far. I suppose it's just whether you can get the goals and assists out of Totti. As sometimes he doesn't always get an awful lot, but I do like him. Segal Cup top, Nicky Franco midfield. Yeah, yeah, you're going to get plenty of goals through the season with those two. And I say the wingers there, Roberto and Agahauer, there's probably not a better pair in the league.
No, Agahauer's just come into that lineup recently. He's making a quite a difference, really. And we've seen Zeriberto's performances, and Sigalko making his debut today.
Yeah, I mean, it's good on finishing, this guy, isn't he? So I wouldn't put it past him to get a goal in this game tonight.
Let's see how they get on in this one. They're up against Really No Chance, who I wouldn't say that was the case for this game. Just 2 points off the top, performing very well. Last game out, a hard-fought victory over Ortiz, who were inspired by Steve Phillips.
Yeah, it probably wasn't really his best game. They've got a few eights through there, but yeah, like you said, the Ortiz keeper was having a blinder last time. Again, they've done well so far in the league. I think they've only conceded 3 goals so far. So again, it's built on a strong defence. This team, plenty of good players throughout the team, and that's why they're near the top of the league.
Yeah, this will certainly be their hardest challenge of the season compared with the other ones. Obviously, no disrespect to Grove and Gondor, because they're picking up some points so far, but the other two teams have yet to pick up anything. Their team for today, they've gone for a formation that's becoming a little bit more familiar in this division.
Yeah, I suppose the only difference is up top they've got the 2 strikers, Van Nistelrooy and Viduka. So whether that makes a difference against the 3 at the back, we'll see. It might be that the team with the extra midfielder, the Blues, have more of the possession. But yeah, there's a reason why people play this formation. That's because it works. Again, if you look at the lineup, it's solid everywhere on the pitch. There's not one who stands out as a weak link. So looking forward to the game.
Yeah, it's promises again to give us something to enjoy. And we're going to this one. Tony Reedon refereeing this one. Let's see how we get on here. And straight away, the Blues on the attack. And yet again, they're going forward. Matt Bosnich is involved heavily. A retaken free kick. We don't get many of those. Sigalko heavily involved on his debut here. And it's very much the Blues, but really coming back into the game. And they scored the opening goal. Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, against the run of play so far.
Certainly was, until maybe 2 or 3 minutes before the goal. They just turned this around, and Blues certainly experiencing a bit of a test to their lead at the table so far. And it's a red card to Mark Bosnich.
Yeah, you've always got the feel for when the keeper's off. If you look at Bosnich's rating, an 8 with his red card so far, it shows how well he's played. So it's going to be a difficult one, this, with Richard Wright to come on for someone.
For someone, yes. Just taking a little look through the team, performance-wise and things. I mean, I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking potentially Harry Kewell. But what do you see as a substitute?
Well, in this sort of circumstance, I normally tend to sacrifice a striker, but it's it's completely your call. The opposition have an extra midfielder anyway, don't they? So to sacrifice another midfielder could tip the balance. Is anyone low on condition?
No, everyone's still in that 90s zone there. So just had a little look at that. Yeah, so Richard Wright will be coming on, and sort of Van Nistelrooy misfiring, or Harry Kewell, who I don't know. I'm going to let you make the call.
Well, in that case, I'd base it purely on ratings, and I'd take Van Nistelrooy off just because he's not started as well as Kewell, and I say just pulling a striker will. I mean, they're still not outnumbered as too much in midfield, and still gives them the opportunity to get goals at the other end.
Yeah, fair enough. That works for me. Richard Wright going in goal for his debut, I assume. Yeah,
and facing a penalty, I think, isn't he?
Penalty straight away, and that red card for Bosnich. And Ibrahim Said does not miss. 1-1, straight back in, and Patrick Vieira taking the yellow card. Said's definitely getting into this game now. Nikiforenko a little bit involved, and really coming forward again with their 10 men. They're holding firm at the moment. Chance for Sigalko just wide, and Zeriberto to Nikiforenko nearly in, and we get to half time, poised at 1 apiece.
Yeah, it seems to be that the Blues And backed up by the stats there, the Blues are in the majority of the play, but when really have come forward, they've looked really dangerous. They've only had the 2 shots on target, but they've scored 1, come close to another. So I don't think all's lost yet. The red card could prove to be a turning point in the game, but they seem to have steadied the ship a little bit so far.
Yeah, they might be down on possession, but in terms of where they've had the ball, it seems to be a little bit more in attacking zones. Taking a look at the goals and the red card, of course. So we've got Kuhl playing to Viduka, but Agahara intercepts. Beckham gets a loose ball, plays it into Giggs. The old Manchester United combination there for them gets the opening goal. And then, Bosnich taking down. There doesn't seem to be any doubt about that. A red card. I don't think an appeal's going to work, is it, on that one?
No, it seems pretty clear cut by the commentary there.
Yeah, and then Saeed, of course, scoring that penalty. So we'll have a look at how teams are getting on. Zeriberto, Nikiforenko, Sigalko, just a little bit off in fitness.
Yeah, Zeriberto's not got the best stamina as he plays, but he's still in good form. Nikiforenko's doing well with an 8, and Sigalko's not had too many chances just yet, just the 2 shots. But you wouldn't back against him, would you, in that second half?
No, it's a highly impressive defensive performance from Walter Samuel there.
Yeah, he's doing really well, isn't he? 8 tackles out of 9, 5 of them key. He looks like he's holding up Okoronkwo alongside him, who's perhaps not quite so involved.
And then for really, Matt Bosnich was playing well. He was on an 8 till that red card, dropped to a 7 now. Beckham getting the assist as we noticed. Vieira, both Vieiras on the pitch are actually playing very well.
Yeah, I think one of them picked up a yellow card for the Blues, didn't he? But I suppose what shows on here for really is just how little of the ball they've had when they've had no one making double figures in terms of passing that first half. But they have done well at the other end, and it's Ryan Giggs with all the shooting. So if they can get it to Viduka up the front, then maybe he can hit the back of the net.
Certainly a bit of a day for Ryan Giggs so far. Let's go into the second half. I think really for anyone on under 83%, no, we're absolutely fine, aren't we? So into 60 minutes with this. As the second half's kicked off fairly slowly, Giggs has had a chance again. And really coming into it, Ryan Giggs once again with chances. And straight down the other end, a free kick. We are on a free kick here, outside the box for Blues. How are they getting on? So bad or tired at 60 is the suggestion, just to see whether Sigalko is carrying a bit of an injury and Zeriberto is too. And just to look at rating wise, there's nobody performing badly. Will you take both of those two off?
Yeah, I think you've got to. They've not started very well this second half. It's really have had the majority of the chances, and playing against 10 men, you've got to make a difference, haven't you? So Robin coming on and Collins coming on will that should liven things up.
It makes sense to make those two substitutions, despite Zambrotta being there as well. More natural substitution choices. For really, they have for here that they looking for 3 subs. We're here we've got Sahar and Dunn for Viduka and Kuhl.
We've only got 2 remaining.
Yeah, so they can make all 3 changes there. They're the ones that we've got. So Sahar and Dunn. And that's the 3.
Impressive the fitness that they've retained, isn't it, so far? Despite being under the cosh in that first half, they're all in the 90s. They must have done the fitness training.
Either that or they're just not moving and playing a bit like a table football team.
It's possible.
Yeah, highly possible. The training tactics are definitely working in that regard. Very tactically organised. Let's go into the rest of the game now. It stops me talking about that. And David Collins has had a chance as soon as he's come on. And David Dunn also getting involved. So substitutions having an impact for both teams. Okoronkwo was having a chance there. And Vieira coming forward. A good save from Richard Wright. 15 minutes left. Still at 1 apiece. Sahar involved. Every substitute going for it. And we've had a cards for Okoronkwo and Vieira, as well as the Bosnich one, but 10 minutes to go, still 1-1, and Nikiforenko gets the goal. It's 2-1 to the Blues. And straight back down the other end come really, but Will they get a chance to score the equaliser? They had a chance and Sahar's missed. 2-1. Blues continuing this excellent run that they've had to the start of the season.
Yeah, you've got to feel for really because they played very well, particularly in that second half, and say they started off rather well. But Blues, I think they'd have seen this as 2 points dropped had they not got the winner. They kept going to the end, and they've got the winner that they probably deserve on the balance of play.
Yeah, a lot more of the possession, haven't they? And but I do think really probably played better in the second half than they did in the first.
Yeah, they've had a good performance. I think Vieira was doing particularly well in the midfield for them, and it's they're unlucky to come away. They've played 60 minutes, haven't they, with 10 men, and they're unlucky to be beaten by the league leaders just late on.
Very much so. Yeah, great performance for Blues, obviously to keep this amazing record up for them. So we've got Saeed into Lucio to Collins to Nikiforenko, who gets himself free and scores unmarked. Fantastic for him to get the winning goal there. Interesting, the ball was only on the pitch 55 minutes.
Yeah, 28 minutes in the first half, 27 in the second. So you've got to possibly think that it could be to do with a bit of time waste on behalf of the team with 10 men. But I think Blues substitutions have come on and performed really well. There's not a single bad performance really through the team. Okoronkwo's maybe not quite done as much as he could play in the full game, but yeah, I say I think they did deserve the win on the balance of play, but really have got to count themselves unlucky for playing over an hour with 10 men.
Yeah, you could definitely say that, couldn't you? I mean, Okoronkwo still completed every pass and won 4 tackles, so it's not even a bad performance at all, is it? Really, for him to get that 6? For really, Richard Wright's done a decent job actually. He'll probably come straight into that team next game, and yeah, like you look through the ratings and think they've done okay.
Yeah, they have. Vieira was on the 9 for quite a bit of that second half. Giggs has had all the shots, 6 shots for Ryan Giggs, 4 on target, and Sahar's made a bit of a difference coming off the bench and having 3 shots at goal. So they've done what they could. They were just beaten by the better, stronger team with a full complement on the pitch.
Yeah, close game, and both teams will certainly feel pretty good about it. Obviously, really should stay in that top half, you'd imagine, this season. Let's see where we're up to next of all. We have got Sons of Gondor away to Los Urracas. Last time out, Gondor were beaten by Atletico Newmills. That's not a bad performance, really, is it?
No, we've seen how strong Atleti are already so far tonight. So Gondor have played above expectations so far this season. They got, I think it was a late consolation, wasn't it, from Van der Hoen last time? But well, maybe not so late. No, I maybe made that up. But yeah, 11 shots on goal. I mean, they certainly know where the goal is, don't they, on the attack?
Yeah, definitely do. They've, I mean, over the course of the season, Gondor have scored 4 goals, so they're averaging 1 a game, not conceding too many. And we look at their opposition, Urracas, they've conceded the same number of goals. So, you know, I think there will be some more in today's game. Gondor, Van der Hoen wants to be transfer listed, but that isn't happening at the moment. And Cucci's been offered a new contract. Just a few changes today. Chris Coleman's gone out to left back because of the suspension in defence to Williams, I think it is. Lawrence has come back into the team in there, and Lampard's been moved to the subs bench. Lacey in and Paulo Sosa across.
Yeah, I like Paulo Sosa. I think he's very good on the game. Dennis Lawrence adds a bit of height at the back, and Big Mama and Lee Trundle up front will be a dangerous combination.
Yes, that was the other change as well. That Sidibe's come in for James Thomas for his first start of the season after 2 decent substitute appearances. So Roger Freestone, of course, has been a real talking point for the season.
Yeah, he's played really well so far. So I'm sure he'll be tested by Iraqis tonight because they've been quite prolific in the cup, haven't they? So he'll have his work out. But I think they've set up really well, and it should make an interesting contest.
Yeah, they've never been out of a game. You know, only a 2-0 defeat, a draw, another 2 and another 1. So yeah, they've got the potential to put in a decent performance today. But as you say, they are away to a side who do score goals. Their last match in the cup, a 5-0 win. And in the league, last time out, they were beaten by Blues, as we saw earlier in the show.
Yeah, I mean, in the cup, the performance was particularly impressive, and Shearer was very good. He's dropped down to the bench tonight, and they've got Alan Smith supported by Raquelme, so it's a bit of a slight difference in system. But again, you look through the team there, and there's plenty of star names that are in there, and I think it should make an interesting battle tonight between the two teams.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a change to the system there, with just the one up front and Raquelme having an important role there behind. Dan has been, he's not the happiest with his own enforced setup of the 5 Newcastle players within the team. But at some point during this game, I think we might even see 6 on the pitch at once. So, the Newcastle players he's got are pretty good generally.
Well, there's not many better teams in the Premier League, is there, to be fair? So I'm sure if they start playing more Newcastle players, they might be further up at the top of this division.
So you go for the full 11.
I'd go for the full, maybe 10 and not a keeper.
Well, we'll see. Of course, it must be mentioned the Gondor manager, Jack Swan, in here with his wonderful charitable efforts in his predictor tournament, which has just finished, and a £20 donation from him and the winner, the Imaginary Madrid manager, to Mind. So very, very nice of them for their donations there.
Yeah, well played.
Let's go into the game. Stefan Wittberg, the referee today. And here we go. Promises to be goals, surely. Lee Trundle coming forward, Makaleli involved. I'm just picking up the names on the screen. And it's certainly been end to end so far. It's all black and white.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's no arguing with that.
Paulo Sousa taking an injury early on. I mean, you'd imagine Frank Lampard just slot straight back into the team he was taken out of.
Yeah, and he'll have a bit to prove today with being left out for Sosa. So I expect a performance from him tonight.
Yeah, will he get any super goals? We'll have a look at 43% for Paulo Sousa. Let's hope he's not out for too long, because he is influential in this Gondor side. 17 minutes in, no chances really of note. And a penalty and a Roger Freestone red card. This could not be going any worse for Gondor at the moment, to lose 2 players in the first 20 minutes, and Roger Freestone at that.
Yeah, that's a real blow, particularly after we talked about how well he was playing, and I bigged up Paulo Sousa before the game and said I like him. So I think we've put a bit of curse on the Sons of Gondor. So let's just say the rest of them are crap, and hopefully they'll all stay on the pitch for the next 70 minutes.
I mean, it would be a real insult to take Frank Lampard straight off the pitch, wouldn't it? I think, in the same way we did last game, is it going to be the striker withdrawn?
Yeah, I think so. I'd probably take Lee Trundle off and have Big Mama as a target point, just with him being better in the air. But it's up to you on this one. Again, might want to see conditions, see if there's been any notice to them. But yeah, I think they'll be under the cosh for the next 70 minutes with 10 men.
Yeah, and I think you might have a point about the strength and the pace of Sidibe. He's slightly better on stamina. Lee Trundle would be the one withdrawn for Willie Guerre. And whether he just plays up front or goes in goal,
you could put a run to the striker.
Yeah, I think a big, massive Saeed run there would be perfect for him, wouldn't it? Yes, a shame the captain will be picked Chris Coleman, the obvious choice, but Aracas will be looking to take full advantage of this now. And Riquelme, a retaken penalty, manages to make it 1-0 to Aracas. Had a chance and they've hit the crossbar. Was that Sidibe hitting the crossbar?
It looked like it, yeah, 25 yards out. So they've done well with the 10 men so far.
Almost a commentator's curse, but yeah, absolutely right so far. There have been certainly a lot of chances coming into the box, but not as many shots as I'd imagine, I don't think. Look at the stats. Towards the end of the half, Gondor still trying to come back into the game, and we'll be fairly pleased that it's only 1-0 at half time.
Yeah, having said that though, the Aracas defence seemed to be performing well. Yepes was on the 9 for a bit of that first half, and I think there's a couple of them on 8s now at the back. So Gondor out of it. There's only been one goal from the penalty spot. And they started off really well. It was a great start to the game from both teams, and hopefully that red card's not going to ruin the rest of the game.
No, I mean, clearly Gondor have had a lot of the ball in the opposition third, not as much of the ball in general, but they've certainly taken the game to them. We'll have a look at that red card and the injury, of course. Paulo Sousa just got off injured, and it's Smith being brought down by Roger Freestone. The retaken penalty scored twice, so yeah, not a lot to look at in there. Uraka's, yeah, you're absolutely right. The defensive performance is good, and I mean, Selakovic he's probably just a bit on the periphery of the game rather than performing badly.
Yeah, that's it. It's, I suppose it shows with how much Yepes and Johnson have done at the back there that Gondor probably kept Slakovic out of the game. But Riquelme is doing well with his 8 and his penalty. Again, he's looking a little bit ropey in terms of condition compared to the rest of his team. But there's been some decent performances so far from Maracas.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's certainly good for them without being spectacular. And Gondor will be disappointed with the loss of 2 players so far.
Yeah, they've been really unlucky. It's just one of them days. I think there's not an awful lot they can do, and if they can pull something out of this second half, then great. You can see players like Lacey and Sidibe, they haven't had too much to do. Sidibe had his shot off the crossbar from further out, but on a 5 now, difficult for him up top, and Lacey just needs to lace up his boots correctly for the second half.
With them having made 2 subs already, it's probably not the best opportunity to make a third one. I think 60 minutes, though, they'll look to maybe swap Sidibe for Thomas, or if Lacey's still not up to it, then Romo possibly be a chance, but who knows, they might have it enforced on them again. So we shall see. Uraka's going for big tactical changes at 60 minutes, as they've done recently in a few games. Riquelme makes it 2-0. Very comfortable now for them, and they'll look to get a third, but Alan Smith takes a yellow card. And here we go with the changes. So Uraka's, Dan has a more tinkering than Ranieri, all within the same match usually. So we'll see what his plans are for this one. So we know that Baumer is to be withdrawn. Not quite that high up the pitch. And Baumer's been withdrawn for Laurent Robert. We have also got Saboy Slakovic. This Riquelme is being withdrawn for Sigalko. And so we've got Costanzo, Yepes, Johnson, Woodgate, Dyer, Boyer, Selakovic, Robert, Duff, Smith, Sigalko.
Well, Riquelme can be pleased with his night's work with a couple of goals and now an early rest.
Rested for next game, which I'm not actually sure when it is. I think it's just a straightforward week until the next one. For Gondor, it will be one of those 2 to come off, I imagine. And Sidibe at 83%. Thomas would be the better replacement, I imagine.
Yeah, that's he's been playing alone for up front, hasn't he? So give Thomas a run out and see if he can change things up a little bit.
Yeah, he's still got a bit of strength, and if the ball can get up to him, then it's certainly worth a go for them. 2-0 though, it's more damage limitation, I imagine.
Yeah, you never know in this game, do you?
No, we've had some strange results in this league so far this season. Van der Hoon's come forward and had a chance for Gondor, but Sigalko misfiring a bit today, I think.
Oh, he's only just come on, give him a break.
As a collection of teams. Ronnie Johnson gets his first goal for the club, 3-0, and they're pressing for a 4th. Maybe, I don't know, nothing's happened. We've got a chance to Lampard, James Thomas, and then pull back Dennis Lawrence, 3-1. Nice consolation for them. They'll be happy enough with that one to say that they've scored in the game, but not the best performance.
Yeah, it's good to see him get a goal back, because it is unfortunate to have a man injured and a man sent off in the first 20 minutes of the game. Lawrence played really well, getting an 8 and a goal, but Uraka's have just outperformed them tonight once they had 11 against 10.
Yeah, the extra man made the big difference, didn't it? They just allowed them to take more control of the ball and to punish them when it really mattered. So we take a look at the goals. Riquelme's goal early in the second half, It's Alan Smith dribbling past two players, having a shot parried by Guerre and tapped in by Riquelme. And for the third goal for them, with Ronnie Johnson's goal, we've got Selakovic. It's basically Guerre's made some good saves, but not held onto the ball.
Yeah, it's unlucky, isn't it? It's on another day they fall to a defender and they're cleared. But Iraqis have done well. It is hard to beat 10 men at times on this, but they've made light work of it.
Yeah, and a smash into the corner from Dennis Lawrence there. He'll be pleased enough that that's happened, but obviously disappointed with the result. I mean, you look at the Iraqis team, and the whole team have done well.
Yeah, they have. So Riquelme getting a 9, 2 goals. Smith with an assist. And a 9 as well. They've had some real good performances throughout the team, and following that cup win as well in midweek, they can be real pleased with the last couple of games they've had.
Definitely. And for Gondor, yeah, Dennis Lawrence, again, he's, as you mentioned, his performance, but, it didn't work up front, did it, with only the one man?
No, it's hard to read too much into a performance like this because they've had the backs against the walls, but no one's disgraced themselves. Lacey and Sadiba didn't play at the best, but they've not had too much of the ball to play with. So when it first 20 minutes when they were both at it, both teams started well. It was at end to end, and if we'd kept 11 against 11, it could have been a different result.
Very true, very true. I mean, Dennis Lawrence there, 2 8s and a 5 for his season so far. It's been a real mixed bag. We've got a couple of games left on today's fixtures now, heading into 76ers versus Grove. In fact, there are 3 games to go, aren't there? So here we are with Grove, who last time out got an inspired draw against De Gers. David James, fantastic performance. Sol Campbell did well. And yeah, they'd be pleased with that, won't they?
Yeah, Dario Silva came off the bench and gave him a real leg up with his performance. So they did well to get a draw. And Sol Campbell and David James with the Old England internationals at the back playing really well.
You wouldn't be surprised to know that this is an unchanged lineup. Unfortunately, during the gap between one game and the next, Laurent Robert has handed in 3 transfer requests within 10 seconds of each other. So it's still not been granted, but yeah, there's a bit of an issue there surrounding Robert. Unchanged and playing the old 4-1-2-2-1.
Yeah, well, it's no surprise to see Robert hand a transfer request in when he can't get in this lineup. But it's good to see a few different faces in the league, and like you say, the real pleasing performance for them last time. So why not go unchanged? They're a team with a chance to cause upsets throughout the league.
This is a sort of a disappointing Smur team that we've got here. It's probably a rarity for Smur team to not perform so well, but his team have been fairly good. Paul Merson doesn't last very much, but can do something with the ball. And as you say, Dario Silva with the goal, he's definitely a threat off the bench, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, they have some players who do get tired because they're towards the end of their career. Sheringham, Merson, even Berkowicz is a little older, isn't he? So yeah, I would expect some changes later on.
And they're up against, of course, the 76ers team who dispatched with Radaby in the cup, and last time round got a hard-fought 1-0 win over 10-man Danglies. So they are a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it can be difficult to play 10 men sometimes, particularly when your keeper's as inspired as Tony Warner and the defence is marshalled by Jimmy Traore. But they kept going. They got the goal at the end and broke a few hearts. And some of the 76ers played really well. So whilst they were on all fours going in front of goal, they've bent Radaby over in midweek.
And there we are with their formation, which they tried and tested Takanadi backwards arrow.
Yeah, Takanadi. I've liked Takanadi since 97, 98 on this. He's an excellent player in a number of positions. So I think the lineup's very strong. Certainly through the centre with having Nedved, Van Bommel and Riquelme as a midfield 3. And yeah, it could be an interesting game between the two.
Let's get straight into it. Home advantage for 76ers. Christopher Fellstrom refereeing this match. Christopher Fellstrom. We're 7 minutes in and a chance for Del Piero. And the graveyard coming to life a little bit now. Cannavaro taking a yellow card. I think it was a foul on Andy Cole. Takanadi getting involved, Maldini involved as well. And the ball coming forward. Kesman with a chance. And Grove holding firm so far. David James yet again on form.
Yeah, Merson and Finnan need to pull themselves finger out a bit.
Yeah, it's a rare Steve Finnan poor performance for a first half here. Smertine given a warning, I noticed there, but still 0-0. We're coming towards the end of this first half. Grove just turning that blue a little bit more at the bottom. And Sheringham with a chance, but just wide. And half time we go in and we're goalless.
Yeah, both keepers performing well. Both teams are mirroring each other, really, aren't they, in terms
Yeah.
of shooting? And it has been end to end, so not a surprise really to see the stats so similar.
Grove with more possession, but the ball much more in their third. And I did think 76ers had edged the shot count, but obviously not. Yeah, straight into the 76ers team.
Yeah, it's but perform with an 8, Takanadi with an 8, so it does show that the ball's been up their end a little bit. They've only had Kesman and Takanadi shooting, so they need the midfield really to start pushing forward and trying to make a difference.
Yeah, Takanadi, as we mentioned before the game, certainly a reliable player within this team, and he just gives them extra stability in defence. For Grove, yeah, it's the David James show again.
Yeah, David James has played really well. Campbell was on an 8 for a lot of the first half and only dropped down to a 7 just
3
before
key
the end.
tackles.
And yeah, there's plenty of tackling in there. He's done more tackles than passes attempted. So them two have been really strong in the last couple of games. It's just that front line from Smertine downwards where they're all on 6s, not been at the best, but things can change.
And no injuries to report there, so we'll head straight into the second half. See if we can get a goal in this game. There must be one somewhere. We've got D'Alessandro coming forward, being quite influential for Grove at the moment, but we're going to substitute time, a late chance just before it. Paolo Maldini, the star man now for 76ers, who look like Riquelme and Del Piero and Baumer are a little bit lower on fitness. We'll see what 76ers say. They say Sigalko for Kesman is the definite substitute here, and Rui Costa for a centre midfielder who's performing below. Yeah, Riquelme is carrying the injury, isn't he? So it would be to bring Rui Costa on there, or he's certainly on a 6 and 83%.
Yeah, that's it. It's not been at his best for this team. He used all his energy last game, I think, for Arakas.
Yeah, but then he had that rest. I thought he was resting for this game, to be honest, but clearly not. Yeah, so they can make their 2 substitutes. And for Grove, well, Steve Finnan isn't performing, and so I think he will be withdrawn. But we have a look. We've got anyone under 6s. Cole to be substituted if there's been no goal. So Cole for Dario Silva.
Yeah.
And then it will be Finnan and left back in this team. I think that would
Unsworth
be
could
Eddie
go there if
Howe.
you put
Eddie
Howe
Howe
on,
into
yeah.
defence and Howe on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got here for the worst attacking mid to be withdrawn. I mean, Sheringham is a bit tired, isn't he? And he's performing below. So, I mean, Patrick Berger.
Yeah, that's
Teddy
it.
Sheringham.
More likely to get a goal than Tim Sherwood.
I mean, Vesterveld offers a threat, doesn't he? But yeah, so they've gone for the 3 changes here. And into the last half hour, and a yellow card for Dario Silva, pretty much walking onto the pitch. And Sigalko gets the opening goal, 1-0 to 76ers.
Yeah, contrasting fortunes for the subs, but Silva's
Dario
bounced back.
Silva straight back in. Oh, well, definitely a game for these 2 substitute strikers. It's been a bit more of a thriller in these last few minutes than it's been the rest of the game. And a red card for Cannavaro. We have seen a red card for Cannavaro before, but he's the one who scored the winner, isn't he, against the Danglies last time out? I mean, substitution wise, obviously we wouldn't make any subs, but it would be, for me, just
Yeah,
slotting Takanadi into the middle of the back and Van
yeah, they
Bommel to
said
do that.
exactly the same. Yeah.
So we're at 1-1. We've got 12 minutes to go. And we've got a cracker on our hands now. 10 men of 76ers up against Grove with their 11 and the impetus and the momentum. But are they going to get a goal? Is a chance of Berkovic? Nothing coming of it. And again, now 76ers coming forward. Oh, I don't know which way the ball's going. And we get to the full-time whistle. And, well, you look at the performances from the two goalkeepers and you can tell why the score was low.
Yeah, it looked like Grove battered them for the last 12 minutes against the 10 men, but 76ers gave just as much in the early part of that second half. So I think it's a fair result on reflection. I think that the two teams can't be too disappointed with that result, either of them. Although 76ers went down to 10 men, I think they performed rather well, and Grove, they were unlucky possibly at the end not to get another one. But yeah, fair result on reflection.
This is a very, very, I mean, the action areas tell the same story, don't they? Just the possession being different. But I mean, the two results of the two consecutive draws for Grove, I mean, Stu Franson's doing a great job in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, put together a good lineup, and David James, who knew he'd be such an inspirational goalkeeper, and Sol Campbell's done well at the back too. So 76ers, Buffon's played his part in goal too. So yeah, real good game.
just to do here, we've got Sigalko's walked onto the pitch, Dario Silva's walked onto the pitch, and after the substitutions, Dario Silva squared up to Sigalko. So yeah, I mean, was it a comment about his leg? I'm not sure. Has he retaliated to that? I just don't know what's going on there.
I think they were both threatening to score in the match, and they've obviously backed up the big talk.
With Nedved playing it into Sigalko, he's found himself some space and smashed one in. And then a few minutes later, I mean, yeah, if one player has got to be creative and get that chance, Paul Merson playing in Dario Silva and his pot shot. I do like that phrase there. Yeah, fantastic. So two decent goals. 76ers, yeah, again, this is a performance that they'll be happy with. I mean, but not as happy as they've been in the cup.
No, Riquelme wasn't at his best, but Rui Costa was an inspired sub coming on, and he had a shot at goal, tried to make a difference, and there's 5 8s on the team and a 9. So on another day they take 3 points. So they're unlucky with Cannavaro picking up 2 yellows, but he's still got an 8, and that just shows how much they've had to do defensively, with Maldini playing well, Buffon playing well, and Caffrey likewise.
Yeah, very solid. If not spectacular in the finishing department, but Grove, yeah, I mean, taking off Steve Finnan has worked out for them, and yeah, Dario Silva, great substitution. So yeah, they'll be happy with the overall performance. John Curtis, a bit of an unsung hero there.
Yeah, he played well throughout the second half, and Silva's pushing for a start now, isn't he? With 2 goals off the bench in the last, so he's probably played an hour, hasn't he? And he's got 2 goals.
Yeah,
So Cole's got to really pull his socks up. It wasn't an outstanding performance from him tonight.
no goals in 5 starts. So yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, we can't argue against the tactical decisions of Stu, but he's done this. He's certainly found a bit of a star in Dario Silva on the bench there. I mean, this one, the relegation battle, Stackington Colliery, who I mean, obviously we've got victories in the cup, but the less said the better about the league form.
Yeah, I mean it's questionable to say the least, isn't it? They've been absolutely battered in most of the games so far, and Danglies came into a bit of form last time with an excellent performance, and so it was that narrow 1-0 loss that they had. So this could make all the difference to kickstart somebody's season.
Yeah, well, after Danglies, we've actually got the cup semi-finals are happening straight away. So Uraka's 2 games in a row. That'll be an interesting couple of battles there, one at away and one at home. Starting lineup kept the same formation as a cup, but made some personnel changes for today.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it immediately, you've got to question Ruud van Nistelrooy in attacking midfield. I mean, I like Ulf Kirsten up front. I think he'll get goals, but Van Nistelrooy in attacking midfield, hopefully he can do the business for you. But it's not something I've seen him do too much in attacking mid. He normally just hangs around that penalty area, hoping to get a goal. But Volodenkov and Agat on the wings could have a bit more creativity than we've seen from your team so far.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Van Nistelrooy as an attacking midfielder is an unknown quantity. It's something to just take a bit of a risk with. I mean, Quim in goal today, his first league start after keeping clean sheets in the cup. And the most noticeable change is Ibrahim Saeed's position.
Yeah, I'd expect to see a run from him at some point. Just going up there, and you won't question against him getting a goal from the penalty spot as is his want and he likes to do. But Romoshenko played well in the cup, and he's a quality performer too. Milevsky in centre mid running forward. It'll be interesting to see how the two of those perform because they're probably slightly stronger in swap positions in my eyes. But again, there's plenty of talent on the bench to come on if the formation isn't working out.
Yeah, I mean, reasons behind Romoshenko is he got 2 assists playing in that position last time round. I know it was a low league side, but you know why change him when he's played well there. And Volodenkov also was a real star in the team last game, man of the match. So it's reasons for playing Baumer further forward. There's all sorts of strange things here, and I mean it can't be any worse. That's well, it could be, I suppose. But let's see how they get on today. And they're up against, of course, Mr. Wooders Danglies.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Danglies formation with having a sweeper, and it's just something a bit different to what we see with a lot of other teams. And I mean, the big change to note in here is having Dean Saunders back up front because he has been on fire so far this season. And if anyone's going to get a goal, it's Dino against the poor Stackington defence.
It's yeah, I mean it would really add insult to injury there, wouldn't it? Dean Saunders with the all-time record low of 3 for an outfield player was sensational. Missing Rigobert Song with his suspension today, so the late Gary Ablett steps in instead.
Yeah, Song will be a big miss. He's always a quality performer and since 97, 98 on this. And Ablett I've not seen too much of because he's probably past his best. But any side that's got Jimmy Chara in centre back and Tony Warner in goals, we saw last game, can put in a solid defensive performance. So I think Danglies are going to have to look to get goals tonight if they can. And Igor in midfield will potentially have to push forward with Bruno Cheroux, and it might be that leading to those two to have the chances.
This is a team that certainly massive improvement into last game against the 76ers, but yeah, they have been conceding goals for fun, and it's only basically a competition with Stackington to see who can do the worst at the moment. So we'll see. One of these teams at least will come off the mark today, and we shall see who that is. Martin Ingverson refereeing, and before we start the game, of course, we must say up the Danglies. Here we go. Castle Grace goal chance already coming forward. Rue Van Nistelrooy in the attacking midfield position scores in the first couple of minutes. Inspired.
It certainly was. Great decision.
And Romoshenko makes it 2-0 inside the first 10 minutes. They have been in a position of scoring goals before. Let's see if this can continue for them. But will the Danglies get back into the game? Milevsky makes it 3-0, and both the two central midfielders who could have swapped places have scored.
Yeah, Tony Warner's not been at his best tonight. I don't know if he's stopped ones yet.
Quite possibly not. He might have stopped one with a rebound coming in or something like that afterwards. And Baumer to make it 4-0 inside the first half, and Kirsten for 5-0. This is quite the change of performance and change of fortunes here inside the first half. And David Thompson's had a chance there in half time. I don't think anyone expected that. Tony Warner is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could have seen this coming, could they? Stackington of scoring 5 goals. I didn't think they'd get 5 goals in a season as they performed so far, but the team's played really well with that change in formation. I think actually Van Nistelrooy in the previous game was an attacking midfield forward centre, wasn't he? So I should have known better than to question him in there. It's an inspired decision to have him in, and likewise Romoshenko in defensive mid.
It's quite the change here, isn't it? Action areas. I mean, yeah, just edging the possession. Let's take a look at the goals. Romoshenko in with a header for Van Nistelrooy. So Romoshenko continuing the assist record he's been getting so far. Then he's got the one from it was a save from Warner from an Njai shot that Romoshenko's put in on the rebound. Loose ball into Milevsky, and he's just smashed one in. Then we've got Baumer out jumping Gary Ablett, saved by Warner, and he's put the rebound in. And for the fifth goal, Volodenkov has hit Ulf Kirsten, and 5-0. The Danglies will be a bit shriveled at the end of the first half there.
Yeah, that might be facing the sack after that performance. But yeah, I suppose it's just been that Tony Warner's not played well at all. But McAteer and Staunton at the wing backs and Ablett in centre back as well haven't covered themselves in glory. But the rest of the team on sixes and sevens haven't been doing too badly, really, considering they're getting a 5-0 beating. Hopefully they can step it up a little bit in the second half and pull a bit of pride back.
Yeah, and for two reasons, of course, there won't be a goalkeeping substitution. Reason number one is that the plan is for no substitutions, and reason number two is they don't play a substitute goalkeeper. So Stackington's first half is, it's direct, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look at all the attackers playing really well. Defence haven't had too much to do. I suppose the only thing is Said's got to be a bit careful on this in the second half with the booking. But a 5-0 at half time means you've got the opportunity to rest a few players for the next performance with playing the cup. But yeah, Ulf Kirsten's done really well coming in for the cup and for the league as well, getting his goals as he likes to do.
And he's going to be withdrawn at half time, I think, if he's injured. He isn't injured, so he'll play to 60 minutes. Give him that time. But it's a very much a change of things. Anything can happen in the second half, but you wouldn't expect to come back.
No, but we'd like to see a bit of respectability.
It would be good to see something there.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day, the rumours were that Wooder was linked with a move to Radaby to take over as manager after the bit of a crisis. But I think Steve Wright is capable here in his team, and Wooder can turn this Danglies side around. Second half kicks off, and they've held out for a few minutes. And Baumer's had a chance, but it hasn't gone anywhere. Baumer's had another chance. He's been really heavily involved in the game so far. And coming towards the substitution time, it's a penalty, and Warner's been sent off, and there's no substitute goalkeeper.
Oh, it just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? For the Danglies, it's can't get much more unfortunate than that.
Yeah, just for a second, just while I have a quick look at the substitute goalkeeper situation for Danglies. Any comments?
Well, I don't think there's anything that I can put clearly on air. I mean, if we're going to look positive for the Danglies, as you've probably got to do, otherwise it's not looking too well. Look how well Dean Saunders is playing. That is an excellent performance from Saunders. He's raising his average rating. Igor Bischon's played well with a 7. But yeah, I mean, even the wing backs have raised themselves in this second half. Good start to the second half, and hopefully they can keep it to a fair degree, because they're facing a penalty now to make it 6-0.
Something. Just having a quick look at see if there is a substitute goalkeeper situation here. I'm sure we've mentioned things early in the season. Obviously, apologies for the delay in commentary. No, I can't see one. I mean, who would you go for?
Well, it's a tough decision, isn't it? But I mean, Steve Harkness, I'd stick in there for no other reason than
but he is he isn't to come on. He isn't to come on. The substitute must come from here. There are no plans for a substitute.
Oh well, in that case, I mean, you don't want to ruin Saunders' average rating. He's played really well. Dirk Coutts always been a utility man, hasn't he? So I'm sure he could do a good job in goal. He's
got some agility and he's determined. Does he have the? Yeah, he's going to go on to play in goal. I mean, you've got to feel for you got to feel for the Danglies is probably the worst thing to say, but yeah, it's definitely the case here. This could be 6 heading into this bit. Ulf Kirsten withdrawn for Yavin, and Sylvester is looking like he's carrying a bit of a knock, so he might be the second change. Yeah, he will be, and the substitute will involve Song to come on for Sylvester and Milevsky to slot into the left-sided defensive position. Here we go. And it's Saeed to make it 6-0. I think you did comment on Saeed scoring a penalty during this game.
Yeah,
Holding out so far. Song to make it 7.
Straight off the bench, Song.
And Danglies are coming back into this game now. They're certainly holding their own.
I don't want to hold them Danglies.
Very few chances. It's almost like they're taking the foot off the gas and they're just not attempting to score. 7-0 is comfortable. And I think it may end up 7. Saeed sent off. So yeah, it levelled it out a bit. Saeed goes to go there.
You've got to play 3 at the back, haven't you?
Do have to play 3 at the back. Thank you very much. Yeah, because that makes perfect sense.
We could have invalidated the result there and had a Danglies 3-0 victory.
Song just drops back into the position there. Thank you very much for spotting the change there. Brilliant. And we continue. And a 7-0 victory. Yeah, Tony Warner's 2 is setting new highs of low performances. Yeah, I mean, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the positives, they've had 6 shots, 4 on target for the Danglies. So, I mean, Stackington, you've obviously had a great performance in being 5-0 up at half time before there was the red card, and obviously the red card, there was no chance of any comeback for the Danglies there. But it's a great performance from your team, and Danglies. They did show a bit of mettle at the start of the second half, and unfortunately, Warner's clipped the feet of the pacey Ulf Kirsten.
That's the 3rd goalkeeper to be sent off today, I think.
Yeah, it's been one of them nights, hasn't it? You get them sometimes where they come along like buses. But Song Jong-kook inspired substitution with his dribbling and goal there.
And a Ruud van Nistelrooy masterclass.
Yeah, great performance to put him in attacking midfield. But yeah, they've had some respectability. Staunton up to a 6 in the second half. Ablett's not played at his best. McAteer dropped again for the last half hour, but you're going to expect that. I mean, good news is Dirk Kuyt looked inspired in goal, and he's ended up with a 7, so he performed better.
I was going to say, he was on a 6, wasn't he, when he went in goal?
He was.
I don't know. I think Wood may consider him as first choice now at this point. Stackington, yeah, Van Nistelrooy man of the match, 2 assists. Yeah, just, I mean, obviously the result is skewed by the red card, but it's a very impressive thing to go from having the record defeat to now having the record victory instead.
Yeah, that's it. It was a 5.5 time. I mean, what you've got to look at as a positive again for the opposition is that the Stackington keeper Quim has he's not flapped at anything. He's got a 9, played really well in stopping them 4 shots. So they have had to work in defence as well. Again, a bit of a block to Saeed's copybook by getting that late red card, but an excellent performance from Stackington Colliery.
And they'll be looking forward to that cup match with a change side in midweek, but next time round up against Los Huracas. And do we still have 2 games to go?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we may still have 2 games to go. I think they've just gone particularly lengthy today.
It's all the red cards, I think.
Johnson Vice squad, they're up against the Jers following that amazing victory for them last time out up against Radaby, 2nd in the league, maximum points, and today they're going for this formation, which is starting to work for quite a few teams. Yeah,
it's been rather popular, hasn't it? And it's I mean, it's interesting to see that midfield with Njai in defensive midfield and Vieira and Parla. I think that's a real strong pair out of the 3 of them. And Ray Parla's good going forward as well. So Robin and Collins in support. We've seen that they had a bit of magic for another team earlier in the day. yeah, looks a good team, and it's not a surprise to see them where they are in the league.
Not at all. No. It's I mean, this season David Collins has been on pretty good form since he's come into the team. He's looking like a very, very lively player, and this Sigalko is actually scoring some goals as well. So they've offered a new contract to Nesta as well, and they're continuing their rotation of goalkeepers as well. I think Costanzo's retained his place. It must be another team that swapped over their fray this time round. Yeah, a good team, but they're up against another good team in the form of the Jers, who they're real goal scorers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got some strong players to it, which we saw from last time, where they had that performance against Grove. They played well in that game, and were unlucky not to get a win. It was just the quality opposition. So, Emerson's having a contract offered him at 3,000.
Live on air contract offer there. It will be 3,100 is a pay rise as well for him. But yeah, we've got a good side here, and I don't think that result against Grove is anything to be disappointed by, considering Grove's result today.
No, they've done well. It'd be interesting to see how Kivu performs coming into the team tonight, and it's a couple of left-footed centre backs. It'll be an interesting one to see how they perform together. I do like Agahawa in that central attacking midfield zone, and Robin up front's a good one too. They've got plenty of pace up there, so could cause a bit of trouble for the Trumpton defenders.
Yeah, this was a bit of a change for Ross Swallow this game, to put Robin and Brotchek up front. Last time out, they had Elbert, but he didn't perform so well. And with Van Nistelrooy missing, they've gone for Robin up front. But yeah, they do have quite a bit of strength. They've got goals, and considering that they scored 11 of them in 3 games, they could easily get back on form today. I'm looking forward to this one. I think you mentioned that you're up for enjoying this one as well. So
yeah, this is the one that caught the eye at the start.
Yeah, Kivu, number 5 in the squad. He's been given that number. And Leif Lindberg to referee this game at the Concede First Shot Arena. Who will concede the first shot? That's a chance for Agahawa, so it was Trumpton to do that. And straight away, that Trumpton coming back into the game. Both teams going down each end. And Sigalko with the opening goal inside the first 15 minutes. David Collins has had a chance as well. And we're seeing, I mean, Ray Parler, he did say Ray Parler was good going forward, and he gets his goal to make it 2-0 to Trumpton Vice squad.
Yeah, good performance so far from Trumpton.
Barney McGrew is going to be delighted with how that's going so far. And with 2 Robins on the pitch, we're seeing quite a lot of him in the action at the bottom of the page there as well. We've had Robin involved for both teams yet again. And he's come through. There must be a chance before half time with Robin again. And he's certainly the name that's on the commentary most at this point, despite not performing amazingly for either team. It's Ray Parler, isn't it?
Yeah, Parler's done very well. I suppose questions are against the Rangers goalkeeper, having conceded a couple and only getting a 5 so far. But I mean, Trumpton, they've not been really good with the shooting, only 50% on target. But when they have hit the target, they've scored 2 out of 3. So yeah, good performance from them so far. They'll have to be real pleased with that first half performance. But it's fairly even, suggested by the stats.
yeah, a lot of it is showing the evenness of it. It's I suppose, I mean, you'd even think the midfield battle is being won by the Jers, but they're losing out in their own defensive area. So the opening goal, David Collins to Robin, and Collins plays it into the box, and Sigalko gets above Frey for the first goal. And then for the second, it's Lizarazu winning it. Parler with a right-footed shot low towards a goal. Fantastic. Ray Parler seems like he's done a good job with that one as well. The Jers, you're right about Frey, and that means that Frey's going to be withdrawn at half time.
Yeah, well, it can make all the difference. I think the next goal in this game, if Rangers can get it early on before the substitutions at 60 minutes, then the game could turn right round. But just needs a strong goalkeeper performance to back it up at the other end.
Yeah, the thing substitute there was for anyone 5 or below at half time for them. For Trumpton, I think everything is about a substitutions at 60 minutes here, so we'll be having a look at those in a little while. There are some permutations about the substitutes for them. And continuing, the Jers trying to get back into the game. It just goes that little bit quiet in little parts of the early second half, and Robin has pulled one back for them.
Game on.
And then he's forced a yellow card. And David Collins gets the goal.
Good response.
Oh, well, just as they were looking at getting back into this game, they've taken another knockback there. So for Rangers, it's we have anyone 6 or below is the standard replacements here for this, and it is actually 2 centre backs. I think it's only wise to make one of them.
Yeah, I would think so. We're not going to pull Kiotis off with his 6 as well.
Samuel and Kivu both performing at 92%, and we just have a quick look at these stats for them. Kivu's not doing anything with the ball.
Plenty of passing, but Samuel's doing most of the tackling, isn't he? So yeah, based on that, I'd keep Walter on at the back.
And Okoronkwo to replace him.
Yep.
And then for Trumpton, so Trumpton with the right. Well, David Collins he's carrying a bit of a knock, isn't he? So here we are. So I think that Veron needs to come on for David Collins based on the instructions here. And with Veron on for David Collins, there. If Veron's on for Collins or Robin, okay. So he's to go back here into a 3 and with a run. That's what that's to happen there. Yeah. And that's where that will be. In terms of any other substitutions, I don't think they're carrying anything particularly. So that will be the change. It does say if Veron's on for Collins or Robin, Veron in on the same side but back and making a 3, pushing the others over. So yeah,
that seems to match the brief.
There we go. And they'll be happy being 3-1 up at this point.
Yeah, they showed some real resoluteness, didn't they, getting the goal again straight after the Jersey got back into it.
Pop it back onto here. We've got Costanzo's made a good save. Okoronkwo's joining in the poor performance brigade at the Jers. Although we shouldn't say they're the brigade. We've got the fire brigade at Trumpton. But 3-2 Lizarazu. Is that his second goal of the season, or is that a different Lizarazu with a goal? And they're coming back into it with a late chance, but it's been held out for Trumpton. Lizarazu was his first goal for this team. 3-2 to Trumpton, a cracking game. Yeah,
really good game. But it shows that the Jers there had plenty of shots, didn't they? They had the better of it in the second half, but it was just Trumpton with 3 out of 4 shots on goal. They got the victory, and Collins in his absence, he got an 8 when he got taken off, ended up with 9 in man of the match. So it just shows how much he was missed when taken off, but he'd had a bit of a knock, and Jers are unlucky not to get anything out of the game, but 2 top teams will be in and challenging near the end of the season by the looks of things.
You would expect so from the strength of the sides and how that game's gone for a bit of a cracker. So I'm looking for Emerson, but Robin's got it instead. And yeah, he's found himself some space. A lot of people are finding themselves space in the box today for the goals. And Vieira to Collins, who's just managed to get himself into a position to shoot. And what more can you say? I mean, if there's a game where the commentary hasn't quite lived up to the performance, this is one. So Zanetti in towards Emerson and Lizarazu with a header. So, Zanetti with Emerson playing it into Lizarazu. So, yeah, that's really some average goals that have been part of a great match.
Yeah, good performance from Emerson with 2 assists, plenty of 8s through the team. Lizarazu with a 9. I think Frey let him down today in goal in that first half. But it can't be too downhearted, although it's a bit of a sickener to lose 3-2 when you're coming back into it. I think if the game had been 10 minutes longer, we might have had evenness in there. But yeah, plenty of 8s through the team. Good performance, and just beaten by a stronger team on the night.
And an improvement for Walter Samuel towards the end of the game as well, up to a 7. But yeah, you're right about David Collins and his spectacular performance today. Anyone else stand out for Trumpton for you?
I think Sigalko's passing seems to be quite impressive for the lone front man. He's had 2 shots out, 2 on target, scored a goal, 40 completed passes, so he seems to be the playmaker as well. But yeah, you can't look too far past David Collins with 5 headers won. He's got a goal, he's got an assist, and he's been withdrawn after the hour, and he made that difference, and rightly so, man of the match.
And yep, that deserved victory. Even though De Gers have played well, Trumpton just edged that, haven't they? Here is definitely our last game for the day. It's Roundhay versus the Oties, and if they're 2 teams on different levels of goal scoring, here we are. Oties, have they scored yet?
Yet to score in the league.
But 2 good goalkeepers. That's the consolation for them. Steve Phillips and Tepi Moynihan have both produced some man of the match performances so far. Defeat last game for them. They've never been fully disgraced, have they, in a match?
No, and this is what it's all about, isn't it? They've picked a team not of the star men in terms of potential and ability, but just in terms of entertainment for everyone else. And Roundhay will be a difficult team to beat because Roundhay have put, I think, 5 and 6 past a couple of the poorer teams in the league. So it should be a real difficult game for the Oties tonight. But if they can get a goal, it's a better performance than we've seen in some of the games.
What an incredibly tricky start to the season it's been for them. Changes wise for this match, Graham Marchant has lost his giant run on the right hand side, and he's gone up front today for his first start in an attacking position.
Yeah, it's quite a change of position, isn't it, from him from last time at the back to up the top there. But San Nazario's on the bench again that we're seeing in this one. I mean, it is a bit OCD threatening, isn't it? This formation, but and it's interesting to see a team without any runs because they're quite prolific through the league, aren't they? So potentially the runs are making the difference in terms of scoring. But if Steve Phillips has another performance like last time, then it's anyone's match.
Yeah, I mean they've still conceded only single figures. They got one of the best defence in the bottom half, joint best defence, haven't they? So they've got something positive about them, and the fact that it is a completely unique squad, that's what makes them enjoyable to watch. And Larry Pike, he is thinking of making a few changes at some point to his setup going forwards. But yeah, they're ready for kick-off. And Roundhay Park Avenue, I mean, let's hope they're both not playing in their home kits today. Just to check, Robert Perez is being offered a new contract. Their last game, 6-0. That was the previous biggest win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real poor Stackington performance. You can't read too much into it, but Roundhay put, I think, 6 past Stackington, I think 5 past Danglies as well. So they've put the weaker teams to the sword. Otis have had a real tough fixture list so far and only conceded the 8 in the 4 games. So they've been doing relatively well. But Roundhay beat 76ers 4-1, was that as well? And they're a tough team. So it's, there's not a lot you can say negative about this team.
No, Carlos Puyol's back in defence for this game, and there's been just a couple of changes amongst the team. I think we've got a new strike force in today.
Yeah, well, the top players out there, Ronaldinho and Van Nistelrooy. I like the midfield that they've got there with Joe Cole and Riquelme and Rui Costa in. Puyol's probably the weakest link out the whole team, or right back generally, but he's Carlos Puyol, isn't he? So he's got plenty of quality too. They'll just have to be wary on their left-hand side about anyone attacking from right back of the opposition.
And here we go. Yeah, will the Otis get a goal, or will it be orange? Yeah, probably. I was probably expecting something a little bit more less of a kick clash, but here we go. Refereeing today, Runa Larson from Tropical World. Here we go. It's actually quite easy on the eye, to be honest, the commentary. So let's see how things go. Chances, I mean, both teams are getting the attacks going on. Riquelme has had the first real chance of note there, I think. And Riquelme then scores, but it's disallowed.
Yeah, Roundhay slightly on top so far.
But Rio Ferdinand takes the yellow card for them. Michael Jackson just puts one over. That was a bad chance for him, I suppose. Nick Baker with the yellow card. And Riquelme, probably the most involved player for for Roundhay at the moment. Real difference in overall squad qualities, but so far nothing to separate them.
Yeah, it's been real tight, this one.
Will there be a goal before half time? There will. It's a free kick from Ronaldinho, separating the two teams as we go into the break.
Yeah, that one bit of quality's made all the difference there, and Otis have held their own so far. As shown round here, have had the majority of the chances, but it's not been too one-sided. Looking at that.
No, a bit of a. I mean, you can see from the action areas, yes, there has been a bit of a sort of an onslaught there, but I mean, the overall possession-wise, the teams are fairly close, and I do think it was a free kick towards the end of the half there. So, yep, free kick pushed over by Baker, and he's got up and put the free kick in himself. So, yeah, be a bit of a blow to Otis at half time, but you look at the teams and think they've kept Van Nistelrooy quiet.
Yeah, they have. He's not done an awful lot at all, has he? Whereas Ronaldinho's shown that moment of magic, got a goal. Ferdinand's put in a good performance at the back with an 8, winning a couple of headers. But Vieira's been quite dominant in midfield as well in the air.
Yeah, it's been again one of those times where half times today haven't looked the most convincing for quite a few teams, and they'll be looking for something else coming in the second half. Otis, I mean, generally they're doing okay.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Michael Jackson's got to look at himself in the mirror and ask himself to change his ways. But the rest of them seem to be doing rather well. And I said they've held their own in the first half, and they're probably unlucky to go in a goal down. But it just shows that the quality that Roundhay have got on the pitch.
It does indeed. I think Daniel Bent will probably continue to with the hour mark and then be withdrawn at this rate. And for Roundhay, there doesn't look like there's any potential injuries there of any note. So we will go through to 60 minutes. And Ronaldinho single-handedly taking the team to the sword and making it 2-0 very early in the second half.
Yeah, an individual goal by him.
Coming up to substitute times, will there be a third goal beforehand? They're battering them, but just not getting anywhere there. And it is a goal, and it's Ashley Cole.
Yeah, they've had a great start to the second half of Roundhay. They've obviously had a manager's been at them at half time and just asked them to lift it a little bit. And they've been all over Otis this second half so far.
And happy for the 3 substitutes to be made here. It does say Henri for the worst performing striker. I mean, Van Nistelrooy will be the one coming off for Henri then.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take off Ronaldinho for anything here, would you, if he's fit enough? He is. And then any potentials as the next step. Rui Costa and Patrick Vieira, and they can make all 3 substitutes, it's being said here. So they will do Rui Costa for Pires.
Yeah, and then Helguera into Vieira's place.
Yeah, you don't fancy Jamie Carragher going into defensive mid?
Yeah, he's capable.
He is. Yeah, I suppose Helguera is probably the most renowned for it, isn't he? So yeah, it makes perfect sense for those changes. But I mean, the hope for Otis now is that there's a red card for a goalkeeper and it sets them with a chance. But for them, they will certainly be withdrawing Daniel Bent, and that would be to bring on San Nazario. Other than that, it's a situation for them of if the goalkeeper is on a 6 to sub him, and he isn't. So that'll be it for them. They can head into the rest of the game. 3-0 down. Can Roundhay put up another 5 or 6 goals that they've been doing this season so far?
And Otis get the first goal.
Yes, that would be great for them, wouldn't it, to get something out of the game? And they are coming back into the game. Graham Marchant's been a decent addition to the strike force there. And it's Joe Cole, though, making it 4-0, 2 for Ronaldinho, and 1 each for the 2 Coles. 15 minutes left in the game, and San Nazario comes off the bench and scores the opening goal for OTs. Great to see that they've got on the score sheets. Just coming into those last 5 minutes now, the game has it quietened down. It's a red card for Baker, and they do have to go for a third defender. And obviously, at this point, you just think that Marchant doing his run would be the change here. because he played it last game. Ronaldinho has stood out in this game as a real star, and playing out the end of the game, expecting man of the match. Fantastic for him.
Yeah, good performance from round 10, particularly from Ronaldinho up front. Great to see the Ortiz get a goal.
Yeah, very much so.
Unlucky with the red card at the end. We've had a few red cards littered through the games, haven't we, tonight? But yeah, well-deserved performance for round 10. I think they'll be unlucky. Well, disappointed they've not got a clean sheet because they've kept a couple of clean sheets so far in the league. But yeah, well played Ortiz, and a good performance from round here. Better team won.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The better team definitely did win, and it's put round here flying up that table, or certainly keeping the pressure on towards the top of it. Just a quick check of the goals. We got through the first half with that free kick, of course, and then Ronaldinho, yeah, he's just taken it around 3 players and scored. So, I mean, brilliant. Van Nistelrooy basically takes the kick off to him and he goes and scores. Plenty of involvement from a few players. I mean, Rui Costa to Joe Cole, Puyol to Ashley Cole, and Ashley Cole puts it in. So, very nice for that one. And a curling one from Joe Cole from long range. That sounds like a good goal to see there. We've got Ronaldinho's free kick and Joe Cole's curler, so fantastic there. And it's a Graham Marchant ball into San Nazario for the other goal. So fantastic! It's great to see the OTs have scored at last. Player-wise, yep, Ronaldinho, the key player here, but I mean, there's quite a few mentions of decent players there. Elguera's substitute performance as well.
Yeah, he's done well, and Perez has got an assist off the bench. Van Nistelrooy had a quieter game, but got an assist. And Puyol, I said he was a weak link before the game, but he's got an assist tonight, so he's rammed the critics' tongues back down their throats. Great performance all round from Joe Cole. Ronaldinho star man. Can't argue against him.
Yeah, Jim Phillips has put a good squad together here, and I think that they will be pressuring the top of the table for the rest of the season. Yeah, disciplinary wise, yeah, that's probably a bit of an issue for Ortiz here. But I mean, they've not performed to their best of their abilities, but they have scored that goal.
Yeah, good performance by San Nazario. Again, we'll be pushing to get back in the team next time, you'd think. Jackson had a fall for a bit of the second half, but he's improved towards the end of it. And Baker's got himself sent off for a couple of tackling. I think the second booking, it said a hard tackle. So there's no arguing that really. But some positives: Adamidis with a 7, Marchant and Colliery with 7s too. I'd say that they played pretty well in the first half, just a bit of a moment of magic, and then round here took the lead.
It's good to see you not shying away from the surname of Graham there and having a go. Still wondering what his real pronunciation is as we go through this. I mean, Nick Baker was basically, running the risk for the entire game there without a single tackle completed, and Michael Jackson without a single one attempted. So that was a bit of a,
let's see if you can beat it next time.
Hey, oh, we found us some good puns there from Michael Jackson there. I mean, it's been an interesting set of results today. That's probably one way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's at 29 goals out of the games that we've had. Obviously, Stackington standout performance for the away team there, lifting themselves up to 10th in the league. Disappointing for the Danglies. Good to see Ortiz get a goal, but the teams at the top, it's I mean, Blues got the win, didn't they, against Rio Lee? But no one disgraced himself in them top battles. They've all been close games, and I think we're starting to see the league just teams in the positions that it should be in really at this stage.
Yeah, with one notable exception, I would say, and it's when you see Radaby down in 9th place, there's something not quite right about that team. That it only takes one decent result, and they might not gain many places, but it will get them that confidence boost, won't it?
Yeah, we'd expect them to put a run together. They have had some tough fixtures so far, and they're just not clicking in attack at the minute. And that happens sometimes in games, particularly at the start of the season for some teams. But I won't be surprised to see them put a bit of a run together and head up the table shortly if they get a more favourable run of fixtures.
Indeed. I mean, you look at the top two, Dublin Blues and Trumpton Vice squad, and think, 5 wins out of 5 with the strength of this division is great to see.
Yeah, really good for a pair of them. I think they were both have shown some dominance in performance, and games like today as well, where they've just won by the odd goal, to show some resolute defending as well. Atleti have played really well, and Round Table have taken advantage of playing some of the weaker teams potentially so far, but you can only beat what's put in front of you, and they've done that by a 15 goal positive goal difference. But I think it's fans of Stackington have got an average of over 6 goals a game. Plenty of goals in the league are occurring, and it's all the merrier, really.
Just taking a look at the bottom of the table there, Danglies with a minus 21 goal difference at this point. Yeah, I mean, they're offering their fans entertainment value, but at the wrong end of the pitch. Well, it's half the game. It's at the right end of the pitch, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, OT's moved down into those bottom 3 positions, and Gondor there's better to come from Gondor, and I'm really pleased that Grove have picked up another draw, but it's a shame for them that they're down now below Stackington there in 11th place.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you look at the quality that some teams have got in the lineups, and the teams down the bottom haven't got quite as much quality, but they've got their. I like the concepts of what they've all got going for them. It's some good thinking. It's something a bit different, so they can have their own little mini league down there, and a couple of teams will survive.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically all teams will survive in Division 2, but yeah, it's obviously teams don't want to finish bottom, do they, in this? Team of the week has been announced, and we can see here Buffon in goal for the 76ers performed well. We've got 3 Stackington players in the starting lineup, and
Surprised to see Algera in there, centre back.
Yeah, from his substitute performance, exactly. 3 Roundhay players in there as well. Obviously with Algera, Carlos Puyol making the team of the week, and
Kelme with a couple of goals for Aracas is deservedly in there.
Yes, yeah, he certainly performed well, didn't he? In that short spell of time, was that the David Collins playing an hour as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And then on the bench, David James deserved to be in there. He could say he's probably challenged Buffon for the starting position there. And the Ronaldinho of Roundhay only good enough for the subs bench.
Yeah, I mean, it's questionable, isn't it? But yeah, I think there was plenty of outstanding performances for today, and I suppose Romoshenko and Van Elgara came in defensive midfield. Really, there was a couple of good defensive performances from some defenders as well, and plenty of good keepers on show. The ones that stayed on the pitch.
Absolutely, yeah. There weren't many of those today, were there? Ruud van Nistelrooy, 5 games, 6 goals, 3 man of the matches. There is no wonder he's leading the performance there as the best player average rating wise, and in terms of goals. Atletico Newmills have got well, they've got themselves a real star. It's just a shame that so many other teams have got him as well. In terms of penalties, Ibrahim Said from the Blues has got himself 2, and he's also got 1 for another team as well. So, we expect him to score penalties, don't we? Assists, Roundhay's Riquelme, 5th assist of the season, and Paul Merson is still hanging around in the top there. We look at yellow cards, Cannavaro and Vieira, 4 apiece, and we're only 5 games in. And I would assume they've both served a suspension already and been booked in every game they've played. Oh, Cannavaro's taken 2 in 1 game, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
In the red card there. Red cards went up to 8, and you look through and see quite a few goalkeepers there. And then I think man of the matches, of course, Ruud van Nistelrooy of Atleti, top, and Steve Phillips within a group of 4 next up on the list. We'll go to the fixture list. We've got those cup semi-finals coming up next, but that will have to play in the next couple of days actually, so we can get a good weekend round of league games in. So yeah, this is what we've been left up with, and it's almost again the bottom half versus the top half. But you notice that fixture at the bottom of the list: Trumpton versus Real Eno Chance.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest competition, isn't it? Out of the games you'd think. Stackington Aracas, both teams in good form, and we'll see them play in the cup beforehand, so that'll be interesting. But I mean, noticeably, Danglies versus Blues, top versus bottom, will be an interesting game, because Blues have they've got over the line with a 2-1 victory today, and Danglies obviously took a bit of a pasting, but they had 10 men and didn't start off very well. So let's see how that one goes if they put in a solid performance again.
Danglies with a choice of Yetzi Dudek or Jose Reyna. So
Or Dirk Cout.
and yeah, you can't discount Count. I mean, the suspensions are starting to build up for the team. It's lucky at the moment it is only one game, but we haven't been to the disciplinary panel to see if there's any more on there. I will be, I'll be expecting a call from Mr. Wooder saying appeal that red card, but I think it's pretty futile, isn't it? It's going to be a suspension regardless of what happens.
Yeah, and Grove Roundhay in that fixture list as well. That's one that stands out because Grove, like you say, have been in better form over the last couple of games. Roundhay have done really well in their last few games, but Grove at home might spring a surprise and get a victory.
Yeah, I think we can pick any game out there and say we've got some quality games in our hand. Gondor have a chance with their 76ers playing just a few days before in an important semi-final. So, again, every single game is something to play for. Well, Mr. Fortuna, thank you very much for yet again lending your support to this league.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you again next time. Goodbye.